Meeting, item 15, is it?
Yeah.
15. Lynette, over to you.
Kia ora koutou. Generally we'll take the report as read. I'll give you a couple of quick highlights. So this report, yes, it has been a little bit more than 2 months since the last one. However, this report covers up sort of to just past the end of the last financial year, which was a good run on the construction front up to the end of the financial year, and has continued into this financial year. Weather has affected us a bit over the last couple of months, as you can imagine. All the operational programs are continuing well and strongly. We've received Waka Kotahi endorsement of our safety program, so that's great. That's moving forward for the next 3 years. The TDM and education programs are continuing and are well supported. Operationally, our programs are continuing to move forward with our contractors, and actually if you look at page 83, just one wee little highlight, our pothole numbers are starting to decrease. That shows we're starting to make some inroads into our surfacing, which is great. And overall our parking teams are just generally doing a great job out there, so that's my highlights for this report.
Great, thank you. Pauline.
Yeah, thank you, Lynette. Good work.
Thank you.
3.3 on page 76, because I know that these reports are a little bit dated by the time they get to us, because they take so long to transition up through the pipeline. Have you got a timeline for when the community board feedback will be taken into account, and then you can form a priority order for delivering the targeted roading and transport improvement as part of the capital regeneration money?
So my understanding is this is actually very dependent on the community boards setting their priorities. So
So
the
they're
team are
not done
working
that
with
yet?
them. Some of them haven't. So if your community board has and set their priorities, they'll be starting to get going on them. I do want to look at how we report this through so you can see the progress. I just didn't have a chance to do that.
Yes, you might
so
break
we'll look at upgrading this report so we can show you progress better through the craft work.
Yes, so will you bring it in a broken down format per ward and street and that sort of thing?
So there are still some boards that are still agreeing their priorities, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sarah.
Thanks so much. The innovating street stuff, so 3.13, just checking the Ferry Road one, which seems to be working really well, and it talks about people having their say on the website. When are the signs going up that actually let people know there that they can actually have their say? So unless you're actually online, I think people using the trial don't know that they can have their say. I've had a couple of conversations with people sort of stopped at lights where they didn't know that it was a trial and that they could give feedback.
I'll have to get Claire to come back to you via the Office of the CE and let you know when that's happening.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, now Yanni.
Just wanted to check in terms of just the LED lights. Is there a simple way in which people can see which areas have been done or which areas are programmed to be done?
There's I can show you or release a map.
Yeah, I think a map would be
Without-
really helpful.
I've got that. I
Yeah,
can
that would
send
be
that
really-
round. Councillor Chen asked a similar question yesterday, so I can forward that round if Councillor Chen's agreeable, and we'll send that on.
Yeah, okay.
It shows where they've been done,
Yeah,
where they're programmed to be done,
yeah,
where they're programmed to not be done
right.
because of ecological
Yeah.
reasons,
Great.
and where we're actually looking to remove lights. So
Remove.
there's multiple maps on this page.
Okay.
I'll
Just
do that.
wanted to check around the. We were going to get a list, and sorry if it's been sent through, of the transport improvement areas. So do we have a list of? No, not the ones that are going through boards. There's a whole bunch of other ones that are being done separate, and I just wondered if we've had that.
A list.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I think it might have been an F&P, but there's a list of transport improvement areas that were funded through the CRAF that aren't part of the 5 priority areas, and we were going to
So
get.
you mean the road safety priorities?
Yeah, we were just going to get an update on the projects that were in there, And what's been done?
I can give you the list, yes.
Yep.
But so we have said in here that there's about 15 projects, 15, 16 projects, 7 are underway.
Yeah, cool.
So we've tried to give you that.
And I wasn't sure with the PT business case, like, do we, like what, like I'm just trying to get my head around, 7 sites have been identified for option development. So in terms of the PT Futures business case, obviously there's a lot more funding required than just what's available in the CRAF fund.
Yes.
So what's the process for us determining how the CRAF fund gets used for the PT priorities?
So the PT priorities, the CRAF business case said we had to select projects from the PT business case. So they have selected sites that are identified in the PT business case and are working those up now.
So is that going to come back to us for sign-off?
Not for sign-off, no, because they are part of the PT business case, but I can come back and let you know what they're doing.
Sorry, let me put the question around the way. There's a whole bunch of projects in the PT business case,
Yep.
all that require much greater funding than what we've got for CRAF.
Yes.
How, at a governance level, do we prioritise what gets done with the CRAF funding versus what gets done later on?
I'll have to come back to you on that
Okay.
one.
Do you guys understand
Yep.
the question?
Let
So,
them come back.
yeah, I think it would be useful just to understand the governance role in that, and maybe you could circulate the 7 sites that have been identified.
Yep.
So we can see that. Just like a bit of a similar question, but does this, do we, I mean, I know it's really early days, do we have any process to track the car parking in terms of what's happening in the central city, like with the increased charges? Like, do we get any financial, I mean, is it more a financial thing, I guess, in terms of the revenue that we're getting from it, or possibly?
I'm sorry, Councillor, I don't understand.
Just the impact of the car parking charges that came in as part of the LTP?
So whether the changes to the charges have affected parking.
Yeah, what the impact's been on either people.
That'll be difficult to do at the best of times because many factors affect parking, weather being one of the biggest. I don't think we have that at the moment.
You'd almost have to wait
we'd have to come back and
6 months to a year before you actually have enough data to.
You'd need to
truly
wait a
understand,
year
yeah.
to get through the seasons as well
Yeah.
before you even have. We're tracking parking all the time.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought, because we have all this new technology,
Yes.
and so we must
So
have a sense.
we are monitoring our parking
Yeah. You can't
usage,
expect.
but you
data
won't
for a
get
month.
anything until next year.
Right, okay. And just a final question from me is in regards to the MCR that's going from the Tannery, so that's the
Heathcote Expressway.
Heathcote Expressway. And has a new consent been lodged, or
Consents
yeah.
have been lodged and they are in the system for being processed.
Right? Is it possible for us to get circulated just a bit of a understanding about what the issues are? I guess my concern is around the ecological impact, and I know that there's also the roading. There was the proposed roading change, but that's changed.
I believe it did circulate that around the issues of what it was, so I will
Right.
find that and resend it, yes.
Oh yeah, I think it was quite helpful. Staff sent through a copy of the first consent application, so it'd just be good to see the revised one, if that's possible.
There's different consents along the route,
Yeah.
so you want the one for Cumnor Terrace.
Yeah, it was the one for that goes around to the Kenaway.
There's multiple consents along this route, so
Okay.
I'll give you
Yeah.
an update and a summary of where the consents are at and what
Okay.
the issues are.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be good. Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron.
Yeah, two questions. The first one's on 3.12, which is the downstream effects for the Northern Corridor. So the very last paragraph, the 3-month bus priority lane trial, which finished over 2 months ago, says here a report has been prepared for the council to confirm an extension of time for the bus lane. I didn't know we were extending. I thought we were doing the 3-month trial, then looking at the numbers to see what's worked, what hasn't, because I note someone's gone and remarked the whole bus lane, so it's all been repainted.
The my understanding is there's a report to extend it to get further information and keep getting information. So the reason we had to keep it sorry, let me start that again. Remember, we've got the independent traffic expert. His concern was that having the bus lane in would negatively affect
Yep.
the surrounding streets. His concern was that if we had it for longer than 6 months, longer than 3 months, we wouldn't be able to change it if it was negatively affecting the streets. We're working with him through this, so that's what that report is covering, and it is coming to you.
So two questions. Firstly, on that, if someone drives in that bus lane now, they wouldn't be fined, would they? Because it's not gazetted or anything. It's just it's a trial that's not been extended. So technically, it doesn't exist. It's just a lane. Yeah.
Potentially.
And, cool. That helps. And then the other one is.
Excuse me, sorry, councillor. As soon as it's gone through the report, though, they will be.
Yeah. So I'll use it for a couple of weeks. But,
Report's tomorrow.
What's that? No?
The report's tomorrow. No.
Close. And then a day. And then the other one is around, would we have not been better to then do what the independent engineer would paid all the money for the advice from, what he had suggested, and done it as a trial, not put it in, and tried what a clearway would look like, so then we can compare the numbers and go evidence-based, the bus lane works better, or evidence-based, the 2 lanes clearway works better. Because at the moment there's a horrendous bottleneck west or north of Innes Road.
Councillor, you're relitigating the decision that council came to and the community board came to around that the community had been really clear that they didn't want the clearway. That was in disagreement with the independent engineer. So we're working with the community board and the decisions that you've already given us.
So it wasn't a trial, it was a decision, just straight to a bus lane.
You gave us a decision to not trial the clearway and to see how the bus lane worked.
Yeah, but then that ran out on the 1st of June, so then wouldn't we, no decision come back to extend
We're working
it.
with the community board, and the community wishes the community board to find a solution that this community wants to achieve.
So do you want to bypass the community board? Can I ask a question on that? So Aaron talked about the
bottleneck.
Sorry, I'm just asking a question.
Right.
Aaron talked about the bottleneck. My understanding, the bottleneck's actually the intersection, not the.
Yeah, and we did when we reported to council, we did say that the bottleneck, the throttling effect of the Innes Road intersection has more impact than the bus lanes do.
Yeah. And also, the independent engineer is aware of what we're doing and is happy with our approach.
They are happy with our approach, and that's why we are proposing to extend it.
So when the light goes green and the other one lane on the other side's full, how's that the intersection?
So Aaron, the problem is this is a report that's going to come next week. So why don't we save all the questions for the actual report when we'll make a decision instead of having 2 debates on the same.
We'll be covered off. We will
thing.
cover all of this off in the report that's coming. And this is just a heads up that it's coming.
Okay, and then the other one, which is different subject, but it's only got one line in there, is right back up at the top in 3.1, the Wheels to Wing cycleway consultation has been analysed and staff are continuing to liaise with stakeholders and community boards are underway. That's all understandable, but we haven't seen the results of all of those submissions. This is the longest I think we've ever waited on feedback on any consultation we've ever gone out to.
They're following the agreed hearings panel process, which we've briefed your board and the other board. We're following that process.
But at
and the
that
dates
briefing,
have
we
been
still haven't seen the numbers. We don't know, because it could have been overwhelmingly in favour of the design. We don't know that because we haven't been shown any numbers yet.
So this report hasn't given you any decisions. It's just saying where we're at with staff work. That's what we're trying to do. The dates for the briefings, the workshops, additional open days as we agreed, have all been put in the diaries, and we're working to those. It is a long period.
No
it is a
problem with
very
that.
complex. It's a very complex project, and we had a huge number of submissions. An unprecedented number of submissions, and the staff are giving them due diligence and also doing due diligence through that community and working with all those stakeholders prior to us coming back and giving you all that information.
But yeah, that's not what I'm raising. What I'm raising is that, like, after the LTP submissions close, we know within days or weeks at worst, but usually within days, how many people are in favour of a stadium size or a new library or a footpath, all of those things. That's all that work's done, and we haven't seen that here yet.
But that's because you do that as part of your LTP hearing. The hearing for this is in a few months' time. So that will all be provided to you as part of that process.
But we always have an early heads up on all consultations, but on this one there's it's silence.
It's not silence because we're
Sorry, I'm
briefing
going to
the
jump
board.
in because we're just having a debate between a member and an officer. It's been answered, Aaron.
So the
You
answer
can either
was
like
no?
it or not like it, but it has been answered.
So how many in favour or against?
So,
Just for the community,
sorry,
just so they know.
Aaron,
Yeah.
actual information, there has been information put out about the amount of actual submissions and the general flavour of those submissions.
Not on numbers.
So maybe you should go
Totally
back and
not.
look for the information yourself. I'll go Andrew.
Thanks for nothing.
Thank you. On a totally separate matter, so this is paragraph 3.5, High Street and the tram extension. Good to see this progressing. So the contract for physical works has been awarded, work commencing early July. Now, I haven't been there to have a look, but I'm assuming that that has occurred. Delivery will concentrate on getting the invasive works completed as quickly as possible, which is great, getting the big works done in the winter time while it's quiet down there, and then coming back to complete the smaller items. So absolutely agree with the approach, and thank you for taking on board the comments from some of the businesses down there to make that happen. When will you have the invasive works completed? Like, when will the big work be finished?
We're looking to complete
You'll need to come to the microphone if you go on.
I wasn't expecting this, but Lindsay's here for another report, so she can do this one.
We're looking to have the invasive works completed by the end of November, start of December. If we can get it completed any quicker than that, then we will do. The team are working really hard down there to do that.
And the business owners are appraised of that?
Yep.
And they're comfortable with it?
And we've been sharing that with them. Yeah, we went and spoke to them prior to starting with the contractor once the contract was awarded, and spoke about their business requirements and the different ways of being able to construct the job. And a lot of them were in agreement that getting in there and doing as much as we could as fast as we could, which comes with a certain level of disruption, was palatable for them.
Excellent. Once again, thanks very much for working so closely with those business owners. That's great. Thank you.
Jimmy.
Thank you for reply to me, particularly regarding to on page 78, the South Express, the section 1 and section 2. But regarding to the section 1, I mean, you have not yet replied to me that if we start those construction work in March of next year, how long, for the construction period and can be the completed, particularly in the Gilbert Stops end?
I can't.
Can-
Sorry,
okay,
I can't
doesn't matter.
answer it.
Maybe
I can't
offline,
answer it at this
offline.
meeting.
Okay,
we haven't let the tender yet, so
Yeah,
until
yeah.
we let the tender, we don't have an answer for that.
Oh, yeah, okay, because you told me already, the tender in
Next
the
question, please.
beginning. Yeah.
Next question.
Yes, okay. Next one is because you particularly mentioned, but it's not here in the finance committee. I also asked about the Kiwi Rail, the kind of drainage and the design, etc., will be completed at the end of July. But now it's August. I just want to know whether those one ever, they provided the council regarding to this one already or not yet.
I'm sorry, Councillor, I don't understand that question. Sorry. Kiwi Rail?
Yeah, because...
Kiwi Rail in relation to the cycleway?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So at the moment, we're working with Kiwi Rail to get designs.
Yes,
We don't have final dates on those yet.
okay. I mean, in the section of Horseway Junction Road, along
Yes.
the water road, that section, but because the staff particularly mentioned waiting for the Kiwi Rail.
Jimmy,
the
I'll
drainage
jump
design.
in because you asked this question most meetings. We've been working with Kiwi Rail on an ongoing basis for a long time, and we know it's not easy, but we're trying to get the best outcome. And as soon as we actually have a confirmed date, we will know. So just
So
Because
that,
staff
it is
replied
moving
to
forward,
me.
just
through,
slow.
through the chair, one piece of good news. if that's all right.
Yes.
The piece outside of Kiwi Rail's land, near Waterloo Business Park, we are looking to start in the next few days.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Phil, you know your pen's a little bit camouflaged by everything else, so you need to get a brighter pen. That's better.
Thanks, Lynette. Just the other day when we had that briefing on the Norwest Arc bit,
Yep.
I was under, and I might be reading this wrong, I thought that bit was all shovel ready. And in here it says council, transit and Crown funding. Is it pertaining to other bits that
Yes.
we've already... Okay.
The bits of the Norwest Arc that are already underway are council and NZTA.
Right, but that bit we
That
talked...
bit that we
okay.
talked about the other day is all shovel ready.
Now, are we, as my community board, it says the priority order of projects now sits with Comboards. Are we holding you up, our one? Because I don't think
I couldn't possibly call out any one particular. Actually, I really can't answer it. I'll have to come back.
I don't think we've seen the list of, say, righto boys, this is what we're doing, prioritise it.
Boys and girls. I will double check. I'll have to come back to you on where we're at with all the
because we're keen to
boards.
see it.
Yes, I know.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Phil. Excellent. Do I have a mover for this report? Pauline, seconded. Sarah. All those in favour? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.